Well, good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the Home Weather Office on this Thursday morning. It is the 4th day of January 2024. This is the morning briefing coming to you from the Home Weather Office. And as I look out the window, about 10 minutes ago it was sunny. Now it's cloudy. We do have a few clouds rolling through. There's also a little bit of fog in the valley. All of that will be burning off, and it's going to be a pretty good looking day. What I'm going to look at this morning is the rain and snow heading our way on Saturday, with a special emphasis on the snow that's going to be impacting not only the Sierra, but also parts of the lower Sierra and upper foothills, somewhere in that range of 2,500, 3,000 feet. So we'll take a look at the morning model runs and just kind of try to figure out what we're going to see. But either way, it looks like it's going to be a nice little snow for the Sierra, and probably one of those days on Saturday that if you don't have to travel through the Sierra on Saturday on 80, 50, or 88, you might want to avoid it. Let me show you what's happening this morning. So as I mentioned, there is this little bit of cloud cover that's going by, that's going over the Home Weather Office right now. And then down below it, this little line right here, that's the ribbon of fog that is on the east side of the valley. That'll get burned off. And as you can see, the north end of the valley is plenty sunny. There are some clouds out here, but otherwise what we're going to see is a very nice day during the day today. And then tomorrow will also turn out to be a pretty good looking day. All right, I'm going to show you a couple of different products here with the NAM, the North American model. And so what we're going to start off with is just the precipitation forecast. So we'll go through the day on Friday. Friday's another nice day, probably a little bit of fog first thing in the morning. This is Saturday morning at 4 a.m., at 7 a.m., and this is at 10 a.m. We have snow in Plumas County. We have rain just getting into the Sacramento area, as well as in the Coast Range. And this is dropping down from the north. Now, this does not have a lot of moisture with it. So this isn't something like an atmospheric river sort of thing that, can produce an inch of rain in the valley and 2 feet, 3 feet of snow in the Sierra. This lacks moisture so that as it goes by in the valley, we're only expecting 1 to 2/10 of an inch of rain as it zips on by. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Places like Sacramento, Yolo County, Butte County have already cleared out. It is snowing in the Sierra, but it's also snowing into Tuolumne County. It's probably going to be snowing in Yosemite by 4 in the afternoon. Oh, beautiful afternoon in Yosemite. And then as we head into the day on Sunday, all of this is gone. This is Sunday morning, and then Sunday is just going to be a cold day, as I'll show you more with in just a minute. So that's the timing. So the rain begins in late morning, and it's done by early afternoon and moves on out. And then Sunday is a dry day. So let's talk about some of the winds that are going to happen with this as well, because another reason that maybe you don't want to use Saturday as a ski day, this is Saturday morning. These are the winds at 10,000 feet. And as you can see, this is the middle part of the morning on Saturday. If I scroll over this up on the crest of the Sierra, you can see that wind in that red area is 65 knots. So winds up on the crest of the Sierra, up at the top of the ski lifts, this is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Winds are going to be 70, 80, 90 miles an hour up at 10,000 feet, up at the top of the ski lifts, up 9, 10,000 feet. Down at the bases of the ski areas, it doesn't get quite as windy, but yeah, just a windy, snowy day. And so if you're looking to go skiing or snowboarding, windy and snowing, Sunday might just be the better day. I know some of you love this sort of thing, but just another reason to avoid this. All right, I'm going to talk about the snow ratios a little bit, and what we're looking at here is the water ratio. So this is, let me get into the beginning of the snow. Here we go, right here. All right, when we start getting into the snow, as I scroll over this, you can see that the number comes up around 13, 14, 15. So what that means is that if you had an inch of water, that you'd get 16 inches of snow. But we're actually going to get colder air. So that's the morning. Well, watch what happens in the afternoon. And this is toward the end of it. Now we're up around 18, 19 to 20. So that means that, well, first off, this is going to be powder, and it doesn't take a lot of water to produce 10 to 14 inches of snow, which is what we're forecasting up on Donner Summit and the higher elevations. So even though we may only get a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of water out of this, we're still going to be able to produce a foot of snow or more. And also, when you come down the foothills, and I'll talk more about this in just a second, is that you can see that down here, it's more like 8 or 9 to 1, something like that. So while you can squeeze a lot of snow out of it and make powder at the higher elevations, the lower elevations, the ratios are under 10 to 1. And that means that while we will see snow down to and maybe even below 3,000 feet, there isn't going to be a lot of it. So let's talk about how that cold air is going to move in. These are the temperatures at 5,000 feet. And on Saturday morning, most areas in our area around 3 or 4 degrees Celsius. That means temperatures around 42 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit. And that also plays into, as the snow starts, the snow level may start off around 5,000 or 6,000 feet. And for those of you that were expecting that snow to drop down, let's say you're in Grass Valley or Auburn or Camino or Pollock Pines, you may start off with rain, and then it's going to drop into snow. So now watch this little wedge of colder air right here, -4. That's 25 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to go from temperatures around 42 to 45 to temperatures down around 25. A 20 degree Fahrenheit drop in temperatures is what's going to drop that snow level. And this is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And there's that little wedge of colder air that is now making its way down the foothills. And actually, there's other dynamics going on here making it look this way, because you have extra lift going on as well to help produce that colder air, as well as evaporational cooling and all other sorts of dynamics. But you get the idea that the foothills are going to be quite cold, and that would be good enough to produce snow at 3,000 feet and maybe even down to 2,500 feet. You won't see a lot of snow at 2,500, but you could see some on Saturday afternoon. And then let's fast forward with this product all the way to Sunday morning. This is Sunday morning, and now our 5,000-foot temperatures aloft, 5,000-foot temperatures over the valley are now around -2, -3, and that means that down at the surface, it's going to be a cold morning. Let me go back to the surface, show surface temperature. So these are the surface temperatures in the 30s in the valley on Sunday morning, and that's around 8 o'clock, and even through the middle part of the morning. These surface temperatures in the valley by this model are only in the 30s and 40s. I think the valley may struggle to get to 50 degrees on Sunday, and the foothills will likely stay in the 30s. So here's what you need to know about the weekend. We're not going to get a lot of rain in the valley, 1 or 2 tenths. It'll rain during the middle part of the day, the morning, let's say about 10 to 1 is when most areas in the valley will see a little bit of rain. We will see snow in the Sierra. It'll impact travel. We're talking 10 to 14 inches of snow up on the summit. It'll be windy up there. Not a good day to travel. There'll be chain controls up all day Saturday. If you do need to get up over the summit on Saturday, leave the valley at like 5 or 6 in the morning. You'll be able to get over to Reno, not a problem. If you're leaving at 8 or 9 in the morning, you're going to be in chain controls, and it's going to take you hours to get over the summit. And let's see. Oh, and the other thing is we are going to see the snow level drop. Well, at places like 4,000 feet, we're talking 4 to 5 inches of snow, something like that. Down at 3,000 feet, maybe an inch or two of snow. And down at 2,500 feet, maybe a trace of snow to a half an inch, something like that. And then on Sunday, it is just going to be cold. Sunday's dry, but it is going to be cold with morning temperatures in the 30s and afternoon temperatures only in the 40s to maybe as high as 50, and that's in the valley. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. It is Thursday, which means there'll be a Facebook live chat tonight at 8 o'clock. And I'll be able to go through the latest models and maybe fine tune a little bit more about what locations in the foothills might see what snow. So we'll be able to talk more in depth about that tonight at 8 o'clock. And of course, there'll be another YouTube update on Friday morning. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.